Straight left hand.
Minute and a half left to go.
It's like one of those jet pilots.
Roy Jones Jr. Let me tell you, that first left hook hurt Griffin.
Roy Jones Jr.
Hold on, y'all told me to react to Roy. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm here. Let me know in the comments who I should react to next. Any legends? But bro, hold on. He different.
Let me tell you, that first left hook hurt Griffin.
Roy Jones Jr.
He
is considered to be the last chosen one in the world of boxing legends.
He puts power behind the right hand.
It's like he don't even be looking.
At the turn of the century, he didn't just knock his opponents out,
Benefiting by it. Whoa, with a left hook.
he made them look foolish. By hack.
Oh nah, Roy Jones. The more I discover more fighters, bro, I be like, bro, it's hard to
The
say who the
matrix
best.
of reality and marching through
It's
weight
just-
classes for decades, Roy amassed a collection of belts beyond the
What a
comprehension
style.
of mere mortals.
Thing I don't like about Percy.
And now
my
it is the
God.
time to recollect the handiwork of one of the greatest artists who has ever stepped inside the ring.
Ron Lipton watching as Roy Jones tattoos Brennan. And then Jones says, look, you want more? Okay.
What the fuck was that?
Did he just say, but he don't want no, I bet. You want some more? Nah. That was brutal. Hold on, I gotta see that again.
Watching as Roy Jones tattoos Brennan. And then Jones says, look, you want more? Okay.
Fatality.
Roy Levesta Jones was born in January of 1969 into a family with strong fighting traditions. His father, a Vietnam veteran, made a name for himself in professional
Vietnam
boxing in the
veteran.
1970s. After becoming a coach, Roy Jones Sr. focused on the younger generation. He was a strict man and often cruel. Still, it was his idea of movement as life and downtime as death that formed Jones's son into a future champion. Already in 1984, Roy won the U.S. National Junior Olympics. And 2 years later, the young prodigy took a prestigious bronze medal at the Goodwill Games in Moscow. In his homeland, however, Roy tolerated no competition. Upon winning the Golden Gloves Championship twice and securing himself a ticket to the 1988 Olympics, Jones went to South Korea. The 19-year-old weight class favorite from the U.S. debuted in Seoul with a knockout.
Roy Jones gets him again with a beautiful decided that it's over.
He made it to the finals without losing a single round in the entire tournament.
Jones keeps that left low as a
For 9 minutes, Jones was outstriking Park Si-hoon, the host country's representative, 3-1.
Jones has opened up in strong fashion.
Calling card and take off right
Oh.
there.
In the second round, the referee gave Park a standing 8 count.
Crowd reacted to the right by Park that grazed Jones.
A standing eight.
Yes, a standing 8.
After the knockdown, nothing seemed to foreshadow the biggest heist in Olympic boxing history.
Roy Jones.
When the judges announced the verdict, the third man in the ring bluntly told the American, "I can't believe they did that to you."
Damn. But they really robbed him?
And the shocked Korean personally apologized for the win.
Because if he said yes, then he didn't know it, but he was going to get another one.
Once he fell victim to big politics, Roy went into big-time sports. Ricky Randall was the unlucky one to launch Jones's pro career in 1989. A month later, Junior deliberately kept the seasoned Stephen Johnson unfinished for 8 rounds. The battering drill ended only at the last minute of the match.
Johnson has never been down. Looking very
That's it. He does.
Yes, it is all over.
As if to make up for his bitter Olympic experience, Roy has not allowed his opponents to last till the final bell 3 years in a row. Fight after fight, he showed the superiority of talent with zero indulgence to the opposition. This was also the time when Roy finalized his signature hands-down style. The abundance of left hook knockouts earned him the nickname
That left
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook. That left hook is nasty.
In addition, due to his outer space footwork and right-hand speed, Jones has become known as Superman. In fact, this image has never suited anyone better.
He do fight with his hands down. That's crazy.
With a 15-0 record, Junior started the year of 1992
His
against a
hand movement
former
gotta be
WBC champion, Jorge Vaca. Junior made his first, and quite a pompous appearance, in the pay-per-view broadcasting world.
Oh!
Vaca kept lowering the right arm with every jab, something Roy didn't forgive.
That left hook.
In June, Jorge Castro became the first person to finally discontinue the mind-blowing 17 knockout streak. The title-caliber Argentinian with 75 career appearances and a granite chin posed quite a test for the American Wunderkind. Anything Junior dispatched, Castro embraced. By the end of the bout, he
He
remained
really don't even put his hands like he be like this. He be like this. Oh, he down here. He like. That's
on his
crazy.
feet to the amazement of many.
It would be the same kind of fight because with Castro, it's having trouble with. Castro steps back.
Still standing upright, the Argentinian faced the verdict, which was seen as a great achievement.
Still has the speed.
In between the performances, Roy fired his unbearably oppressive father. The last straw was the tragedy that happened to his pet.
He didn't realize that he was stepping too far on me.
One of Roy Jr.'s dogs bit his little sister on the arm.
Roy's father took a gun and went over and killed the dog.
Jones Jr.
What
went
the
to
hell?
coach Alton Merkerson, the one he'd known since the Olympics. Under his guidance, Roy met Glenn Thomas. The regime change seemed
Damn, we killed. Bro, what the? But why he ain't asked him, man? He just went and killed it, bro. That's insane.
to have no effect on Jr., who massacred Thomas in the final seconds of the 8th round.
Feelings, if it was a mutual agreement, should Roy Jones Sr. be here to show his support? Oh, and now Jones over Thomas. Looks like it ended here in the 8th. But Thomas gamely battling back. Seconds remaining. How's he standing up?
I knew one of them hits, them hooks was gonna drop him, bro. Bruh, I like, bruh, that long fighting style where they throw long shots instead of them short, heavy shots.
Over Thomas. Looks like it ended here in the 8th. But
Hum.
Thomas gamely
Hum.
battling back.
Hum.
Seconds remaining. How's he standing up?
That night, Captain Hook was on fire.
And still undefeated, Roy Jones.
Further in
Junior!
December, he went to attempt for a champion title against another prospect, Percy Harris.
Percy
Pretty
Harris.
quickly, Roy's opponent regretted not bringing a flying license.
A flying license.
There he's
Oh!
down already. Excuse me. I don't fear what you've got, but Harris is in serious trouble again. And Jones, aping Ray Leonard, throws his glove.
After that, Percy lied down 2 more times, but he got up by sheer willpower.
Solidly, and now there's blood coming out of Harris's mouth.
That left
And
hook.
down he goes again.
The denouncement came in the 4th round.
Another right cross. Harris in trouble again. Can Harris make it out of round 4? Not without going down.
Fatality.
That nigga lean on the ropes, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Roy Jones Jr. hand speed is insane. His hand speed and his head movement is nasty.
Suddenly feeling no solid ground under his feet, Harris lost the WBC Continental Super Middleweight title to Jones.
Because I always wanted a green belt. I won all the belts, but I definitely wanted a green one because WBC was hot and it was a green one.
Regional regalia, meanwhile, seemed below Junior's ambitions. In 1993, Glenn Wolf became a pass-through piece of a one-act performance for the powers that be.
Oh, what a left hook inside by Jones. Nansen drops his hands and pounds away.
Stop the fight. That shit over.
Has had enough.
And if earlier Jones aroused
Body shot
promoters'
hurt him.
curiosity, now he had their undivided attention. As early as May, none other than Bernard Hopkins deployed a fighting force in the opposite corner. The 28-year-old executioner with a 22-win streak knew how to convince the opponents to never get up after his punches. With the IBF middleweight title on the line, Bernard was determined to beat up Jones.
Against Roy? Oh!
It turned out, however, that their top-tier finisher had nothing to counteract Junior's outside fighting magic.
Hook.
Position from which Muhammad Ali used to throw the jab.
Combination by Roy Jones. Right hand, left hook, and there's
He said how they long shots, like he ain't getting close, he long, throwing them long, but they look like they hurt.
Clinch episodes were often handled by Roy, too. For all 12 rounds, he pierced the defense and stung with gloves like a nimble fencer.
In those games, trying to win his first world championship, the vacant IBF middleweight title.
The final decision brought him the first significant belt of the Big Four boxing associations. Later on, Hopkins would not lose for another 12 years, making his way to the undisputed world champion.
Damn.
They think he's going to
lose
Captain Hook,
12
in
years.
turn, airdropped Thulane.
Hopkins said, stop playing with me, bro. So we watch Hopkins one day? Let me know in the comments, man. Another 12 years, no L's?
Malinga.
Oh!
straight left hand was spectacular, and this is it.
Upon receiving a left hook,
Bam!
Malinga spent a couple of seconds in free fall,
Bam!
waiting for his parachute
I ain't
to
gonna lie,
open.
Roy Jones?
Straight left hand.
This is how Roy closed out 1993, chilling in the sports elite. He was now on an unbelievable streak of 23 wins and 21 knockouts. Still, the boxing world was yet to realize Jones's future potential.
Did he say 23 wins, 21 knockouts? I like his stance, though. I'll take Sugar Ray Leonard's style and Roy Jones' stance. I like his stance. You know, I don't know how to do it, but
Solidly, and now there's blood coming out of Harris's.
It's just, I don't know.
The next year opened with two dazzling voyages of Captain Hook in the ring. First, he ran over Danny Garcia, who was unable to withstand a flurry of punches near the ropes in the 6th round.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that one hurt.
Another victim, Thomas Tate, fell in the 2nd. But Thomas Tate fell in the 2nd. But suddenly, Jones got bored. He outgrew the middleweight category where the challengers collapsed from the mere glance of him. A move up to super middleweight in 1994 was instantly marked by a bout with the division's king, James Lights Out Toney. James was known for his impenetrable defense and surpassed Roy statistically with 29 knockouts in 44 bouts without a single loss. Before the fight, there was not even a whiff of courtesy.
That's all I can do. I got to go out there and do what I got to do to teach that lesson.
He can't. Can nobody teach me a lesson? I'm the teacher, baby.
James Toney said, okay.
Jones,
I'm the
entering
teacher,
as
baby.
the underdog, was yet another thing that made the encounter between the two champions even more intriguing. Still, off to a good start, Roy did everything he wanted to make the world's second man in pound-for-pound rankings look merely average.
So far, Jones has asserted himself pretty well. Good combination from Jones. Toney into trouble.
In the 3rd round, Junior's teasing move provoked a mistake that Toney will blame himself for the rest of his career.
With some beautiful shots back at Toney.
Oh!
Oh, that's fuck!
And down goes Toney!
Nah, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Mistake that Toney will blame himself for the rest of his career.
With some beautiful shots back at Toney.
You not me, boy. Stop.
And down goes Toney! He was caught showing off.
He did by that patented jumping.
He thought he was Roy Jones. Okay, come here. Nah, I like that. Still, he look like a, what's his name? I ain't gonna lie. That was funny.
And yet, the so far reigning world champion could not be crumbled in the ring so easily.
Playing a decoy game, but Jones landing the
Oh!
And they traded.
Every now and then, James reminded Roy that he is rightfully a top-class fighter.
Toll on James Toney because he just got caught with another good left hook, even though he's sliding and rolling with a lot of them. Oh!
Good left hand.
Still, Captain Hook was a step ahead of his foe, effortlessly conquering the toughest challenge.
Upstairs. Toney came back with a counter.
Oh, a smash. Left hook to the
Decision and new super middleweight.
After 12 rounds, the unanimous decision made Jones one of the world's best boxers, regardless of weight class. He spent the next 1.5 years defending his belt. With no chance of salvation, much less any hope for a competitive fight, the challengers were going down in batches.
Damn! Ooh!
One of the most spectacular wrecks was Vinny Panzienza in 1995.
Vinny Panzienza.
In the fourth, Junior became the first pro boxer in recorded history to win an entire round without taking a single hit.
In terms of
What?
offense, to left-right nods that he knows he got hit.
He didn't hit him?
Oh, look at that jab I have ever seen. That includes Muhammad Ali.
After a series of knockdowns in the sixth one,
He's going to fall on his face. It's a big right-hand lead, and he's down again.
the Tasmanian Devil's scalp went straight to Roy Jones's Hall of Humiliation.
Jones says, come on, Vinny.
Oh! Stop the fight! Yo, it's so many great... Bro, it's like... But where I got Roy Jones Jr. ranked, bro? As far as his class. Not heavyweights. Don't include heavyweights. But the lower classes. Where I got him ranked at. But it's so hard, though, because it's like...
Devil's scalp went straight to Roy Jones's Hall of Humiliation.
Come here. Bop! Bop! Straight left hook.
In the summer of 1996, Roy set another record as the first pro athlete to participate in 2 sports on the same day. Thus, a morning basketball game with a $300 prize
$300 prize
was followed by an evening defeat of future champion Eric Lucas worth $1.7 million.
Bop!
That was to break Roy Jones's hand on his jaw. Fight.
I think I got it down. I think I got it.
Continuing to devalue the ambitions of the world's top-tier fighters, Jones faced the undefeated Bryant Brannon in October of 1996.
Hold on, so was Roy Jones undefeated this whole time? He was undefeated this whole time. Just straight knocking his out.
Breaking off the moral shackles, Roy went on from extravagance to intrigue and mockingly dispatched the opponent to the canvas twice. Breaking off the moral shackles, Roy went on from extravagance to intrigue and mockingly dispatched the opponent to the canvas twice.
With the possibility of Bryant putting up a big fight against Roy Jones. And their man is just getting...
As the beatdown dragged on, Jones asked the ref to have mercy on Bryant, but he refused.
And then Jones says, look, you want more? Okay.
Dead. Referee, you ain't shit. Referee. Now, if that man got long-lasting brain damage, we blame you, because he tried to... He said, bro, please help this man. He's not even hitting me back. I'm just beating him up. Put hands and feet on him.
As the beatdown dragged on, Jones asked the ref to have mercy on Bryant, but he refused.
And then Jones says, look, you want more? Okay.
Asked the ref to have mercy on Bryant, but he refused.
And then Jones says, look, you want more? Okay.
Dang! Bomb!
As a result, it took Brannon a long time to recover from a severe knockout. Without a single mistake over 5 defenses, in November 1996, Jones faced the 39-year-old light heavyweight Mike McCallum.
Light heavyweight?
Notably, Roy only agreed to appear in a new category to help Mike make some money.
So at some point...
When McCallum forgot about that fact and started pressing in the 10th round, Junior cooled him off with a knockdown.
Out of there. McCallum seems just... Whoa! Just as I said that.
Following the 12th one, the 27-year-old Roy ended up with the WBC belt, a record of 34 consecutive wins, and the Boxer of the Year title.
Damn,
but
he
in
had
the first
34
defense,
consecutive wins?
already,
Stop
Jones
playing,
faced the nightmare of every unbeaten boxer. The undefeated Montel Griffin, with 18 KOs over 26 victories, seemed to experts like a worthy form of opposition. The challenger's plan was to give Junior no room to maneuver. In the opening rounds, Montel actually handled this difficult task pretty well, cornering Jones and attacking the body.
Not too much punching.
Oh, shit!
But
I didn't mean to cuss, but God damn.
And attacking the body.
Not too much punching. The one is
But then Roy went hog wild.
with some pretty solid shots.
And knocked Griffin down with a couple of hooks in the 7th round.
White trunks with black trim. And there's a knockdown.
He's one of the greatest lightweights. Big right hand by Jones.
In the 9th, unwilling to drag out the match, Jones rushed to wrap it up.
And a couple of left hooks. And Griffin's knee goes down. And Jones lands 2 punches after Griffin's knee was on the canvas.
With the
That man fell head first.
Fatality.
Yo, what?
His knee goes down. And Jones lands 2 punches. A couple of left hooks. And Griffin's knee goes down. And Jones lands 2 punches after Griffin's knee was on the canvas.
With the victory already being celebrated, Roy found himself deprived of the belt and the cherished 0 in the defeat column.
Referee disqualifies the red corner.
As the finishing blows went on, the allegedly fainting Griffin took the knee. The slack ref's failure to stop the fight in time and Jones's abuse of power led to his disqualification.
I got disqualified again, just like at the Olympics. Probably a devastating moment of my career because I never wanted to have a loss.
And the
Damn, that's how they do. Bro, the dude was down. The dude was about to fall over anyway. I'm keeping him. He was about to fall over anyway. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments, though, bro. Y'all think he deserved it? Just kind of. I mean, he was on the knee. He was on the knee, and you hit him once, and then came back with a left. I feel like it's muscle memory, though. He came with the right. He didn't mean to hit with the right, but the left is coming after it no matter what. Muscle memory.
In the August rematch, Angry Roy did not accept the opponent's surrender. The only thing he was interested in was slaughter. Jones shook Griffin in the first few seconds.
Let me tell you that first left hook.
Bomb! Oh, shit!
Towards the end of the opening round, his vicious hook smacked the opponent to the floor.
Griffin is benefiting by it. Whoa, with a left hook.
And that's that. Jones gets his vindication.
That night,
But after that, bro, they should take away his loss after that, bro. Because if I beat him fair and square, you gotta take away my loss, bro.
signature weapon did not misfire. All groggy, Montel made a few fruitless attempts to get up, but failed to overcome gravity during the 10 count.
And that's that.
In April 1998, the 29-year-old champion faced Virgil Hill, an owner of a sound 43-2 record. In the 4th round, Jones delivered such a jeweled right hook to the floating ribs, even the audience could feel it.
И Хилл, почти все противники гораздо больше его. Да, вот это был удар.
I felt the shot. Felt like it hurt it. Ugh, to the body.
The image of Hill squirming in agony won Roy the Knockout of the Year award.
Хилл, почти все противники гораздо больше его.
Just 3 months later, Junior had a unification bout against the WBA champion Lou Del Valle. An awkward southpaw, Del Valle was losing the fight clean for 8 rounds.
5 excellent body shots in this round.
Finishes this stuff, he can be in good shape when this fight wears on.
But when victory seemed to be in Jones's pocket,
And landing with those straight left hands.
Bam!
Gotta ignore all of Jones's unconventional brilliance.
Let's throw some of those 12-inch jams that were really faint.
Just a single body shot to the left side of Hill's ribcage. 3-punch combination.
The impregnability of his defense was questioned for the first time.
Oh, dropped him.
A left cross kept Roy on the canvas for a short moment, then he managed to avoid being finished off with no loss. In the remaining rounds, Junior kept up the good work without slacking up.
Oh shit, he was mad.
A clear winner of the fight, Jones was handed a victory and yet another champion belt.
Roy Jones is closing the show.
As he kept raising the opponents to the ground and getting inside distance wins, Roy tallied up the calendar fight's totals. His official record reached 39-1, whereas in fact, it was 40-0.
40, no, I ain't gonna lie, Roy Jones, 40, no, that's nasty. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Roy Jones was really putting people down. That's crazy.
In June of 1999, Jones faced an IBF title holder, Reggie Johnson. The winner would leave the ring as an undisputed world light heavyweight champion. With a big smile and an overwhelming advantage, Junior took each of the 12 rounds.
1 minute down, hard right hand by Jones.
Chopping his opponent down twice along the way.
Just like one of those jet pilots.
Damn!
Twice along the way.
Fast!
Just like one of those
Womp.
jet pilots.
That one was fast and brutal.
For the first time in 15 years, all of the division's significant regalia were wrapped around Roy the Great's waist.
He had everything.
In May of 2000, Jones put a blush on Richard Hall's cheeks.
Decides to down. Minute and a half left to go. Straight right hand lands.
Superman got all stirred up as early as the first round.
Now he puts power behind the right hand.
Ooh! I ain't gonna lie. The way he doing them, bro.
Superman got all stirred up as early as the first round.
Now he puts power behind the right hand and down goes Hall.
Roy Jones, bro.
Upon delivering the second knockdown, he was on the way to the close.
He has not been a good finisher in a long time. Well, he hadn't had a first.
But having made an allowance for extravagance, Junior slowed down and switched over to inscribing the most mocking performance in his career.
Ooh. Oh, shit. Ooh.
Roy's is opening up angles.
Playing with these guys.
Punches against Jones.
As the 11th round of the thrashing went on, the Jamaican boxer was barely withstanding every upcoming punch.
Stop the fight, bro. That shit don't work, man.
Why doesn't the referee stop it?
But Roy managed to further turn up the absurdity. The referee only intervened when Hall, trapped in the corner, was about to breathe his last gasp, while the commentators begged for a stoppage.
Stop it, Wayne. Come on. This isn't competition anymore. This is a bloodletting. This is absolutely preposterous.
Stop the
Richard
fight,
Hall
man.
should not be taking
brain damage. Ooh.
Jones, however, was determined to continue his humiliation parade against the best boxers of his era. February 2002, Junior buried the Australian boxer with a 28-0 unbeaten record, Glenn Kelly. This time, Junior was less picky about his targets, with the uppercut in the third not being the decisive one. Kelly got up again after a liver shot in the sixth.
Against Glenn Kelly of Australia. And down goes Kelly.
But all that was just to make a big show for the following round.
Behind. Oh!
The following round.
I ain't gonna lie. Personally, Rory in my top 5 personally. Personally, bruh. My man hit him with the picky boo mong. That's hard.
You know, that's pretty amazing because
Unveiling a stunt for which the world will praise Conor McGregor in the future, Jones scored a right hook that finally had the Australian fighter demolished.
because I was countering him so much, counter-punching him so much, he stopped punching. Put your hand behind your back, he'll punch then. I'm like, ooh, ready to profile. Okay, put my hand behind my back, pow, there he goes.
At the end of 2002,
That's hard, I ain't
in a
gonna lie.
decade-long title campaign, the 33-year-old junior easily conquered the Everest in every weight class he had competed in. With 38 knockouts over a 47-1 record, the reigning light heavyweight champion had...
He was 48-1 with 38 knockouts.
nothing else to prove within the
Nothing,
division.
bro. Greatest of all
Jones
time,
also
the
found
GOAT.
himself at the pinnacle of
Nah, I ain't
success
say- I ain't gonna say
outside
that.
the ring. Combining timeless sport hall musical hits with great appearances in global blockbuster movies.
God damn it, Morpheus, you ain't never gonna change.
That nigga was in the Matrix? That crazy.
In March 2003, Roy came up with a new challenge for himself to become the world heavyweight champion.
Wow,
A year prior to
Roy.
that, John Ruiz had taken the WBA title from the aging Evander Holyfield. Despite his modest size for a heavyweight, Ruiz was 30 pounds heavier than Junior, who had been gaining muscles for
Why
the
he
whole
do
training
that,
camp
though?
and showed 193 on the scales. As the starting bell rang, however, Jones's opponent barely kept his panties on.
And lands the first big right hand. And Jones lands the left in return. And they're fighting in the center of the ring.
A heavyweight? I don't know about heavyweight, Roy.
There's a solid right cross by Jones. Luis takes it very well.
Basically, Ruiz had lost the belt before he had had a chance to realize it.
BAM! Oh shit, oh shit.
He stunned him with that. He stunned him with that. Luis shook him. And now Jones looks to do it again.
No lessons learned, he kept taking Junior's penetrating blows, boldly delivered with both hands.
Straight right hand landed. Against outclassed opponents, he's gone 12 rounds. Just because he doesn't like to.
2 feet from the rope, Ruiz.
Right hand.
Once Roy added a drop of self-love to the audience's obsession, Roy caused a tantrum in the helpless Ruiz's corner.
Fight him! Come on, Johnny! Fight him! He's taking your fucking title away from you!
Keeping control.
Taking your fucking title away from you! That was on his head.
Heavyweight in all aspects of the bout, Jones was raised to the Olympus of the glorious Royal Division by the judge's decision.
Easy. Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones!
He became the first boxer to get the heavyweight title all the way from the 160-pound division. To make
That's in fucking... Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Bro, what? Nah, Roy just elevated himself in my mind. I didn't know that. He just elevated. How?
make it easier for MMA fans to grasp the uniqueness of this achievement, that was like Charles Oliveira taking the welterweight and middleweight titles these days, then skip light heavyweight and beat Francis Ngannou right away.
That's a fact.
Maybe this was the point when
That's
34-year-old
insane.
Jones reached the top of the boxing mountain.
It's over.
There
He
was
only
nothing
ain't
left
gotta
to
do nothing
conquer.
else.
Therefore, the road ahead could just be a downfall.
Why he, bro? I would have retired. I'd have retired right there. Oh wait, what else I gotta prove? I'm basically almost 50-0. I got 40, damn near 40 knockouts. I'm Himothy. I'd have went into the sunset.
Despite the circulating rumors about an upcoming fight with Tyson or Klitschko, Roy decided not to tempt fate and chose to return to his previous weight class. He faced Antonio Tarver, who was beaten by Jones in his amateur 80s days. By 2003,
Tarver.
however, the impeccable foe had managed to take over some of Roy's left-off lightweight belts during the bout with Montel Griffin.
Magic Man.
Junior's inevitable clash with Tarver took place in November. Right from the start, Antonio went on the rampage and opened up with a few punching series at the ropes.
Lands another left. Goes
Gonna miss you.
Ooh.
He lands the left hand.
Jones, on the other hand, was unusually cautious and mostly delivered single shots.
Not much offense.
Using up his energy.
Not at all.
These jabs don't have authority, but they start to land again.
Fold a little bit because of the weight loss.
Jones sneers contemptuously at him.
The heavyweight run-in and the subsequent weight cut clearly had a negative impact on Roy's stamina, who wilted already in the first half of the bout.
Damn. By Jones. There it is. Another hard left hand. And Tarver lets his hands go again. Give it a shot.
I don't know that I've ever seen Jones look quite in as much trouble as he does right now.
Never.
In the face of defeat, Junior gathered his last strength and went back to multi-strike combinations in the championship rounds.
He's doing what champions do.
As the dramatic final bell echoed around, the judges jumped on Jones's board.
Hey man, he was hold his whole life, bro. They done did him dirty so many times. Finally, he get to get one. Let him get one, bro. Oh man, they done did him dirty too many times.
The 2003 Fighter of the Year award went to Roy as well, so he couldn't let the bad weight cut situation with Tarver go unresolved. The rematch took place in May of 2004.
Do you have any questions? I got a question. You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that.
While Antonio promised to leave no doubt about the winner this time, at first he ceded the initiative and focused on defense.
And there were boos in the house during the first fight from Tarver hadn't gotten off.
The second round, though, was marked by one of the most shocking strikes in the history of world boxing.
Sustained attack against him.
And down goes Jones on a hard left hand. And that is the first Jones may not get up. And he makes it up. It's over. Jay Nady stops the fight.
The left hook in exchange knocked the champion off his feet. As Roy managed to get up, he was in no condition to continue. Over Jones's 15-year career and 50 fights, Tarver became the first on the kill list to actually have a live bullet.
He knocked the fuck out, bro. He should have retired, bro. He would have retired like Floyd. Bruh.
All in all, the knockout of the year brought Antonio 6 belts.
Sustained attack.
You got 6 belts off that?
In an effort to bring the 35-year-old Junior back into title contention, Jamaican fighter Glenn Johnson was summoned to the ring. Before the final rounds, Roy was leading the fight.
Roy. And he's coming back at Glenn Johnson with serious fire.
Yet in the 9th, Glenn found a way to rewrite the fate of the bout and the upset of the year award.
Well, he turned it up against Will we ever see Roy Jones?
A right overhand to the temple cracked.
Roy should have fucking retired, bro. Oh my god, bro. I just hate to see it, bro. He should have left the game, bro.
The code in Junior's head, his stiffened body stretched out on the floor. Roy only got up in 3 minutes, which seemed like a lifetime. Still unwilling to be downgraded to supporting roles, Jones resorted to a gesture of last hope, namely to his father's training guidance.
Learn to accept the fact that, we screwed up, we done something wrong, you know what I mean?
After a year-long break, Junior stepped back into the ring against Tarver. Even though revenge in its purest form had never happened, the trilogy's finale came quite racy for both of them.
Jones with a speed, do enough to win the fight. Don't even worry about a knockout.
As if to say, I'm far the superior fighter. And now a little show.
For the first time in their confrontation, Roy began to punch his way off the ropes. He burst out with pressing moves, too.
Just to work.
That good right hand. That's a perfect right hand.
Great punch by Jones.
As for the ending, the fighters played it like an action-packed thriller. Over 1 minute only, the treacherous lead changed its holder twice.
Tarver thinks he might be playing possum a little bit. That's right back up. Round of their 3 fights. Tarver plays Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
In the end, the spectacular bout went to Tarver on the judges' scorecards. That's how the once untouchable boxing emperor ended the year of 2005 with 3 consecutive defeats and a 49-4 record. But what was it that made Jones so invincible, and why did he end up going downhill? With natural agility and reflexes unmatched by anything the world has seen before or since, Roy has always been closer to the virtuoso aspect of boxing. The down-to-waist hands not only complemented the image, but also enabled him to attack from insane angles.
Whatever. Shane Mosley learned that on Saturday night.
But my biggest advantage is my speed. So when they can't keep up with me, then they can't beat me.
Junior used the classic jab quite seldom, only resorting to it as a demonstration of activity rather than as a standalone tool.
Okay.
The striking 1-2s, despite that, crushed the opponents down with uncanny swiftness.
Like one of those jet pilots.
Once concussed badly, the victims had no choice but to escape. Roy threw them to the ropes and then used machine gun punch series to finish them off.
Now, he's got Brandon wobbled. Here we go. Here we go.
Jones's main effort in a bout was to create a constant counter-punch threat in reaction to a single attack.
9 rounds once, never 10.
But one unrivaled weapon in Roy's arsenal was the left hook that he could catch anyone on.
To the candle.
Junior's fighting tactics have always been built around the lightning-fast legs, which allowed him to avoid the onslaught. A successful sidestep secured a position for a shot an opponent could no longer foresee. His key maneuver was the so-called dart, the very essence of which is to change stances during or after the blow. Another important element of Roy's approach was to constantly intimidate an adversary with his right hand.
He has not been a good finisher in a long time.
This, however, was just a stepping stone to channel the entire body momentum into the lead left hook. The idea of exposing an enemy with the right and springing with the left was Jones's primary goal in a fight.
Fitting bias. Whoa, what a left hook.
Roy Jones Jr.
And there's a
Seconds remaining. How's he standing?
But one thing that haunted Jones his entire career was rope issues.
With a fighter like Castro, you cannot run. You have to wait till he's ready enough.
Even in the best years, Junior would sometimes stagnate and take a shot. As long as he avoided corners and circled around the ring, he remained untouchable.
Ever seen. That includes my...
But as footwork quickness left him at 35, Jones went down to giving the rivals better chances at his most vulnerable position.
Sustained attack against him.
Damn.
Coming back in 2006 after a devastating losing streak, Jones didn't turn into his own pale shadow. But the man's finger was starting to slip off the trigger. Felix Trinidad had been knocked down twice. But before realizing what happened in the 7th, he was laid on the canvas again in the 10th round.
Bum, bum. Okay, Roy, I like it.
Nevertheless, Junior failed to finish what he had started. In 2008, the British prodigy Joe Calzaghe became Roy's last hope to regain a high-class belt. With 45 straight victories, Calzaghe was recognized as one of the best European boxers in history, and as the greatest super middleweight in the world. And yet even his knees got bent before Jones at the start.
Jones is quicker in the center of the ring and down.
Junior's mistake lied in the reliance to counter game. Instead of counting on a quick knockout, he let Calzaghe catch a rhythm and turn the tide.
Jones with punch count from here. He has dominated round 3.
Ooh.
And now it was weary Roy to withstand the exact humiliation his opponents had been going through for years.
And throwing 3 and
in the 7th round, Calzaghe opened the first cut in the former King of the Ring's career, thereby aggravating the man's shaky situation.
blood above the left eye of Roy Jones.
After that, Junior used up what remained of his greatness to make it to the crushing decision.
He's in a boxing ring.
Realizing he stood no chance of surpassing this achievement, Calzaghe left the sport at the peak of his success. In April 2010, 17 years later, Roy met with Bernard Hopkins.
Bro, this man still fighting, bro. It's pissing me off, bro. It's pissing me off, bro. Like, what's up? What has he got to prove? Like, really? Like, somebody let me know in the comments, bro. What does he have to prove?
Hopkins again. The fight turned out to be memorable, but not because of the fireworks in the ring. Hopkins' extremely dirty style turned into Jones's cut after a headbutt.
Bernard rushes in, Bull rushes in, now follows him right into the corner. Places 2 headshots, then goes back to that.
He took a few hits below the belt, too.
Bernard into that sort of shouting match.
But as Roy began to respond, Hopkins put on a little show, collapsing from a rabbit punch to the back of the head. In the 8th, he went all the way for the Oscars, first breaking the rules and then crouching down from the return of the courtesy.
Rabbit punching, big doing everything.
Is there another rabbit punch?
Yes.
The performance was completed by a low blow in the 10th.
That's a low blow?
Yep.
Still, foul play aside, both technical superiority and judges' opinion favored the more active Hopkins.
They're fighting right through the bell, right through the referee. They are going at it. Security into the ring. It just became a brawl. Hopkins.
The final low point to the major league career of Jones, who was then in his 40s, was the meeting with Denis Lebedev.
Давай, все. Это нокаут.
And yet an unsuccessful fighting visit to Russia in 2011 set a new unexpected stage in the Americans' fate. Roy's request for dual citizenship was heard at the highest level. In the ring, Junior didn't fail either. Over another 5 years in action, the freshly minted Russian American scored 11 victories with a single defeat. Notably, Jones's performance has always been a resounding success in the second homeland. Of course, his opponent's skills no longer went through the roof. But by that time, Roy fought solely out of love for the art.
I feel you.
The 49-year-old ring wizard's honorable farewell ceremony in February of 2018 was hosted by Scott Sigmund. In his last pro bout, Roy looked utterly better than the opponent, dominating both in punching power and speed.
Oh, beautiful left hand. Sigmund on the run. Final seconds here of this 3rd round. Sigmund.
A regional title and a one-sided win were the perfect way to leave on a high note.
Into the body.
Jones's final professional record amounted to 66 wins with 47 knockouts and 9 defeats.
Mr. Roy Jones.
Damn, they got the baddies back there. Ooh, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, bro. This made me so mad, bro. I feel like he should have just left the game, bro. He should have just left the game, bro. Should just left the game. But hey, he still one of the greats, bro. He still one of the greats, bro. He went all the way up to heavyweight and got one, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And I mean, I don't who else did that. I don't believe nobody else ever did that before, ever in boxing. That's crazy. But let me know in the comments where I got him ranked all the time. And bro, this is crazy, bro. I'm still mad about how his career ended though, man. He should have just retired, okay? Like, but look, man, I'm gonna see how the interview. Y'all already know what's going on, man. Okay.